everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here with Birch Press Designs, and we are going to be using their string art corner die. This is just a one-layer die. This is not like the others that I have used in the past. Now, I'm also going to be using one of their sentiment packs. This is part of a new release, or the recent release, and it's called You Are Awesome. So this is the die right here. So it's got a lot of possibilities, even with being one layer. And you'll see that in one of the cards. This is the sentiment. I am absolutely in love with these sentiments. You know, it can just go far. You have some of the strips that can stand on their own and others that can be combined with the plain font. So what I'm going to do is I want to create some backgrounds. Excuse me. I'm finding that is what I'm doing during this challenge that we are all being faced with. I am loving just making backgrounds. So I pulled out my Nuvo Shimmers and I pulled out my spray tent, and now I'm just going to go to town creating those backgrounds. So there's going to be a black and gray, a red and coral, a green tone, and then a purple tone. But one of the things that I do like about the Nuvo Shimmers, it is a powder that's very reactive to water. I like to do 2 layers of the color when I'm doing this, and I just put a little bit of powder down, and you don't need much. But I just put a little bit of the powder down, and then I just go to town with the water, and I let it do what it's going to do. I will dry the first layer first. Not completely, but I will use my heat tool to dry it. Now, the beauty of this green, which I believe is falling leaves, there's also flecks of blue in it. There's also, again, there's shimmer powders. So there is a shimmer that is going through these powders as well. So again, I dry the first layer, I then spray the second. I may move it, I may not. And when I get that flat look, that watercolor look, I will add more powder because I want the explosion of those colors to be seen in the panel. So I'm moving on now. I've got a lot of powder going on this one, way too much. So I've really got to move it around. Added a lot of water so that we could get the base on this. You can see that it's got pinks and purples and blues all within that shade of that powder. So that's one of the reasons why I do like the Nuvo Shimmer Powders, because of the different look that they do give. I am going to come in with some more powder. I'm going to spray that and then just keep moving that and keep adding the powder until I like to see those explosions. And that's pretty much what I'm doing. And as I'm setting them aside, they're drying, because then I just let them dry on their own. Now for this one, I did it a different way so that you can see what can happen. I put down water first before I put the powder. You can see you do get a different result, or you could. The moment the powder hits the water, it's awesome looking. It just explodes. If you've seen any of my previous videos, I love putting water down and then just touching it with a brush with watercolor in it and just watching it move. I think it is mesmerizing and beautiful at the same time. So once these panels were dry, this is actually what they look like. I do take a dry brush over them just to remove any of the residual powder. Now these panels here are 4.5 by 6, and I do cut them down to be 4.25 by 5.5. So here's our die, and all I did was die cut it from white cardstock. No colors or anything else. Now I've got different layers. So for the green, that's 5 layers of that die. For the red, each of those panels is 3 layer. And for the purple, it's just 1. So you can sort of see the differences. Now what I did for the black and gray, I created a rainbow, and then I just turned it on itself so it looks like it's fanning. It looks really cool because you can see those different layers underneath, and then of course along the edge. So I grabbed my finger daubers and my brush blenders, and I went around the edges just to kind of frame it. I'm going to set those die cuts just a little bit up off of that corner and not down in the corner. Yes, the one with the rainbow is my favorite. Next one, I'm going to do the same thing with the green. I'm going to go around just the outside. I'm just rubbing that along the edge. So that's going to give it its frame a little bit. And then I'm going to come in with the blending brush with the green color just to add a little bit of a shaded edge to it. And again, using the same color. So the first color I used, of course, was Black Soot. This here is Mauve Lawn. For the red, I'm going to use Festive Berries. And then for the purple, I will use Shaded Lilac. Now again, all of these colors will be listed on my blog, so make sure you go check that out if you're interested in the colors that were used for these back panels. So same thing, I'm going to go around the edge. Again, just to give it some dimension, some shading. And then the last one will be the purple. And this time I did not use my oxides. I am actually using the good old faithful Distress. Just the plain Distress watercolors. Well, that's what I call them. I love to use these as watercolors and with backgrounds. I think the effects that you get from those are just awesome. So now I'm going to use my art glitter glue once I can get it unclogged because I didn't put the pen back in it. And I'm going to put these down onto my panel. I will use an acrylic block to hold them in place. And these are going to go further down into the corner of the panel. And that's going to just help put pressure on that. Now remember, that is 5 layers for the green. Here's the rainbow one. And I'm just going to make sure that I have a dot at that bottom corner for the purple as well. And I'm going to hold that in place. I will trim off the side using my scissors just to make that even. And then I'm just going to put a dot of glue underneath the top layer and just push that down. So for the red panel, I have one, and again, these are 3 layers. I have one for the top and the bottom, opposite corners, of course, because you can see that the one edge is shorter than the other, and it will fit perfectly a panel of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to get these both set. I thought the white really accented against these backgrounds. Now, you can use any color that you want. Here, and again, you can create your backgrounds any way that you want. I mean, you can do ink smushing, you can do watercolors, you can use colored pencils, you know, again, whatever it is, you could use other sprays, you know, whatever you would want to use, by all means, use. And you can see, just by using one color cardstock, you're still going to get those different effects. Now, you could stick with the neutrals, you know, you could have brought black in on one of these, you could have used a metallic on another, you could use a glitter, you know, on another. Again, there is no limit to that. And this is what the panels look like once they're dry. They are put on my standard A2 size card bases, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and these are all going to be top folding. So for the sentiments, I chose "You Make the World a Better Place." I am gathering up cards. If you've noticed the past few videos that I've shown, there's been a lot. Not just making one or two, but I am gathering these up because sometime very soon, I believe next weekend, I will be bringing these all to our local hospital just to say thank you to them and for everything that they're doing for my community here. So I just want them to know that somebody, I know many people are, but definitely I'm thinking about them. My favorite is that black. I love the storm in the back, and we look for the rainbow. So I think these are very simple, but yet unique in the way that they come together. And again, you can use any sentiment that you currently have. Again, here are the two products that I used for today's project with Birch Press Design. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope it gave you some ideas. As always, the products that I used will be listed down below in the video description. And again, make sure you go to my blog so that you can get the colors that I used as well. I will make sure that they're posted in there. If you have any questions or comments, please make sure you leave those down below as well, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you haven't already, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you ring the bell so you know when the next video is ready for you to watch. And as always, hit that thumbs up. I do hope everyone is staying healthy and safe as we continue to go through this challenging time. Someone said, and I believe it was Kelly Latavola, keep looking for the rainbow, and I find myself doing that. Guys, enjoy your day, but always remember what's most important to me, and maybe it can help you get through this challenge. Always be creative.